Yeah, I have a question because last year there was an increase in the fees of the tuition, and this year there's another increase. What do you think about how, as potential student council, gonna approach to the faculties or to the administrator for this? For me, it's a problem because when you start a program, should not be increase the fees, in my opinion.
Well, I think just kind of maybe getting a more in-depth explanation, and I said that more services and events have been scheduled, and that's why there's been the boost in tuition because the quality that we're being taught to is a higher standard. So maybe just kind of getting more of a breakdown of the overall GSOM budget can kind of help us understand. I'm not sure what kind of access we have exactly to that information. We can have our future treasurer take a look at that, which should have much better financial skills. And just kind of be able to explain that to the student body that, these particular resources are what we've gained, whether they got new equipment for the Bloomberg, because it could be specific things for different departments. Every year you can't help every section of GSOM improve. It's going to be one section at a time. So it's true that not everyone is going to benefit, but just maybe to understand more in-depth why could help.
Well, I think the key is just to listen to students. That's number one. I mean, if they're raising tuition, no one's listening to them. So first thing, maybe student council could just be listening to what are students' grievances, and then we might kind of like a sort of some patterns come up, and then we can bring those to GSOM and go from there. So at least hearing what students have to say.
This is also where the faculty advisor comes in, someone in authority who can literally answer each of these questions in a very dedicated format, give us the reason why the tuition fee has gone up and all the things that Rachel and Jared just said. But having a faculty advisor would really help because they're part of the administrative team who makes these decisions.
Do you think the classes here are too easy? And if they are, what would you do to make it more competitive?
Well, they might not be too easy. They might just be, they might be a lot of work, but it might not be something that students value intellectually, for one, and then two, they would be useful for the job market. So, trying to, again, listen to students, see what they, how they feel, look at those evaluations that students are doing for after every class, maybe improving the evaluation method, something that's online that we can kind of track the data better. So it just needs to kind of collect the data, listen to what students have to say, and then from that, bring it to staff. Having the other extracurricular activities that can appeal to students who want to challenge themselves would be helpful. I know there's some case analysis competitions that students can get involved in, and some are pretty intense. We have this weekend. Here's the case. You have a weekend to do it. You're competing against hundreds of teams around the world. That's a heck of a challenge.
Okay, I don't think that the class offer by GSOM are easy because I know some of my classmates are trying for the class with the paper, assignment, and exams all. So I think the class is not easy. I love the way that how GSOM organizes class. Very intensive inside the side classroom with more so there with more integration and involvement and engagement between professor and the other student in class. But what I'm suggesting for maybe for the new leadership team is to organize some more event which directly influence the career, the future career that what they're gonna do for the. I know that so many students they are not ready to do that. They don't really know that they're going to do in the future, even though they are second year student and they're going to graduate soon. So there should be some more kind of career, maybe orientation, or they invite some more employers throughout the connection and networking faculty and staff and student itself, and that would be helpful.
I think if students really do know the content and material of the classes that they're taking, they should try and waive the class or test out of it, so we should really create awareness about those programs. I know I've talked to some people that didn't really know of those things that they could take advantage of. Also, I mean, some classes are going to be someone's forte or not. Like, it'd just be easy that math was easy for them, so they're gonna whiz through, but accounting, took me hours and hours of study for to get that A. So I think it's just gonna be a challenge. Like last semester I took 5 classes. It was much easier than this 5 classes I'm taking this semester, so there is gonna be that difference. But I think, like Jared said, looking at the evaluations, maybe, I know when I talked to Deanna, she kind of gave me a heads up on what would be more challenging, for my skill set, or less challenging. So really making sure the students are working with their course advisors to see what will be the hard semesters for them, what semesters will they maybe be able to do an internship. And that can also be a way to challenge, like really working with the community. If you have a great idea for a project, we should have community businesses or events or organizations you can go out and implement that. If you want to challenge yourself, there are plenty of ways. There are plenty of methods that you can find to implement those skills that you really want to foster here in this community.
I had one question with regards to some of you mentioned getting more business or members of the local business community, or in specifically alumni with experience involved or more reconnected with the current student body. How would, what type of events do you think could better do that? And kind of how would you go about reconnecting some of the alumni who have kind of left the fold over the last few years, haven't been as involved in GSOM?
I noticed I've had a lot of experience working with or doing informational interviews with alumni, and I know a lot of them want to engage students. I just talked to a guy from Sloan Consulting about a month ago, and he was very excited to talk to a student. So, I'm going to, something I haven't done yet, but like to kind of connect them with maybe career services or some faculty, just to kind of make them aware that this student is willing to talk to someone. So, if anyone else wants to ask questions on something, they can. There's someone who's going to be willing to talk to an alumni who's willing to talk to students. So maybe just trying to get a network going of like who's out there who wants to be connected, and just try to come up with a resource list and try to identify a way to categorize it.
And Cindy Richards did mention a couple months ago when I was in the career training class that she is really trying to reach out to students who are just graduating this coming year to kind of start that momentum forward. So make sure that they respond to her surveys on what types of jobs you're getting, how much money you're making. So, us coming into it, we can expect, what to get from this degree, and kind of emphasize how much we're getting out of this program. But I think, especially with like the Facebook and LinkedIn groups now, like we can really reach out. We can try and find out where alumni are in different areas, not just in Massachusetts. I know they just had an event in New York. So finding out where alumni are kind of congregated and then going to them, even if they can't come to us, or offer to do a bus trip out there one day. So because a lot of students can't find transportation themselves. So just, it's hard because people who aren't in school anymore, they're out there, they're living their lives, they have jobs, they love to help us out, but at the same time, it takes time and effort on their part. It's not always worth it to help someone out when they're already so busy. So if we can really reach out and to get to them, and then once we make those connections, I think it'd be easier for them to come to us with help.
I think it's also a good idea to really create a great environment here so that when we become alumni and the future classes do, they feel like giving back, and that just helps the process along.
And inviting alumni, back to events, so, making the gala or the banquet or whatever it's going to be, such a big event that alumni are like, oh my gosh, that was the most fun I ever had in graduate school, I can't wait to go back afterwards.
Any other questions?
Well, some of us have to get going here for the bus.
Okay.